Hey everybody, this is Melissa Esquivel, and I wanted to take you with me to get my post-op splint removed. We did have some issues with my appointment that was supposed to be 2 days after the surgery. I think there was a communication failure and it wasn't scheduled. So I am here 1 week post-op, and you can see the hand therapist is removing the post-op splint. I will give you a warning now. This is a trigger warning. If you don't like seeing stitches, I would probably scroll. But for those of you who don't mind, continue to watch. So what you're going to see here is a lot of swelling after they get this removed. This is causing me a little bit of complications in my therapy just because I'm having to work past that. But we'll get through it. Here you can see the incision point. Look at those fingers. Look how straight they are. I know this looks ugly, but in about a week, it's going to look completely different. In fact, in a week, I go in and I get my stitches removed, and then I have another therapy session. Look at that. It's beautiful. So I have straight fingers, right? Here, you can see from the side profile, lots of swelling there, but like I said, we're going to get through it. So the hand therapist, she's starting construction on, I'm going to call it a suspension splint. I don't know what the proper term is, but basically this is something I'm going to wear during the daytime. It's going to allow me to have some mobility in my fingers. However, it kind of runs on rubber bands and string, and it's going to pull my fingers back into a straight position after I bend them, right? Because we do want to keep them straight. I also have a retainer splint that they gave me to sleep in at night. And that's to keep from having any deviation in the fingers. It's quite the contraption. It's a little bit bulky, but I wouldn't say it's completely uncomfortable. This is different from the first hand. On the first hand, they began my therapy about 10 days after I had the stitches removed. So a lot of the swelling had already subsided. And I was not in a splint for that one. I didn't have any problems after it. I actually thought that the therapy went pretty smooth. But we're going to see how this one goes. Right here, you can see this is one of two things that I'm going to have to do. This is where they're having me bend at the hand. You can see it's very painful. The shaking in my fingers, that was excruciating. So I have to do that daily every 2 hours. And then the next one you're going to see is where they're having me bend at the middle of the fingers. It's like a clawing type of action. And that helps stretches those tendons out. Also very painful. Like I said, I'm having to work beyond the inflammation. So this is that nighttime retainer splint. I had that on because they had just formed it for my hand. It was still kind of setting. And now I'm headed home, but I went to the truck and I put on my suspension splint. It's quite the contraption. It'll take a little getting used to, but for the meantime, here is my post-op x-rays, my before, my after, and next Thursday, we'll be getting these stitches removed. So follow along.